know the persona of Caitlin Clark. She's everywhere.
Caitlin Clark may be out injured, but the vibe's still very high at WNBA All-Star Week.
What's your question for Caitlin?
My question today is, what's the hardest part about playing basketball?
At the end of the day, none of it's hard.
Caitlin Clark didn't play a single minute at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend, and yet, somehow, she became the biggest story of the entire event. No jump shots, no highlight reels, no game-winning assists, just her presence, and it was louder than any buzzer. From the second she landed in Indianapolis, it felt like something shifted. The crowd, electric. The cameras, locked on her every move. And the energy, it wasn't just All-Star Weekend anymore. It felt like the Caitlin Clark show. Fans flooded the arena 10 rows deep just for a chance to see her walk in. Reporters chased her like she was royalty. Security couldn't hold the crowds back. And every time she waved, smiled, or even stood up, the building erupted like she just hit a game winner. But here's what no one's saying out loud. This wasn't just hype. This wasn't just celebrity. This was a cultural moment, something bigger than basketball. And Caitlin Clark was right at the center of it. So how did a rookie, sitting out with an injury, end up outshining every star on the court? What does it say about the WNBA? And what's coming next? Because the game may have ended, but the real story? It's just beginning. Let's get one thing straight right now. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game was sold out before tip-off, and Caitlin Clark wasn't even playing. No injury report, no warm-up footage, no pre-game interviews from the court, just one name on everyone's mind. Caitlin. Was she sidelined? Yeah. Was she absent? Not even close. From the moment her plane touched down in Indianapolis, the city lost control. Cameras snapped like machine guns. Security tripled. Fans didn't just show up early. They camped overnight outside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Some just wanted a glimpse. Others, a moment, a photo, a story to tell. And the wildest part? She never stepped foot on the court. Not even once. But she still stole the show.
She has literally not been seen without about 10 security guards.
Caitlin Clark wasn't there to score. She wasn't there to dominate defenses or drop logo threes. She was just there, and that was enough to shift the energy of an entire arena. Reporters couldn't stop talking about her. Broadcasters kept cutting to her in the stands. Fans? They screamed louder for Caitlin in street clothes than they did for the actual game. It didn't feel like an athlete arriving at an All-Star Weekend. It felt like a global icon walking into her own concert. But here's the thing nobody's really talking about. Why wasn't she on the court? Was it just a minor injury or something deeper? Because when you look closely, what happened off the court this weekend says way more than what happened during the game. And that's where the real story begins. Everywhere she went, Caitlin Clark moved with a full security detail. 10 guards, shoulder to shoulder, like she was guarding state secrets. But this wasn't ego. It was necessity. Because the second she stepped into public view, everything changed. Fans didn't just cheer, they surged. At the airport, crowds formed like it was the arrival gate for Taylor Swift. At fan zones, kids cried just to get close. Grown adults clutched her old college jersey to their chest like it was sacred. Parents raised their phones high above the chaos, praying for one blurry shot as she walked by. And yet, in the middle of this beautiful storm, Caitlin never hid. No Vite barricades, no private exits, no diva routine. Instead, she stopped. She smiled. She signed every scrap of paper she could reach. She gave people moments they'll never forget. Eye contact, hugs, laughs, pictures, autographs. She was right there, in the middle of it all. Not just a superstar, but a human being. And in that moment, more than ever, it became clear. Caitlin Clark wasn't just changing the WNBA. She was changing what it meant to be famous. If you still don't understand what Caitlin Clark represents, just look at the kids. Tiny jerseys, homemade signs, wide eyes full of hope. Young girls didn't just wear her number. They wore it like a superhero cape. Like she wasn't just a player, but a possibility. Some stood on tiptoes for hours, just for a wave. Others clutched glittered posters that read, "You made me believe." And in the stands, their parents, especially the moms, watched with tears in their eyes as their daughters screamed Caitlin's name. Because they knew, deep down, this wasn't just about basketball. It wasn't even about sports. It was about being seen. It was about visibility, representation. It was about a young girl suddenly realizing, wait, I can be Caitlin Clark. Not just dream it, believe it. And that belief? It spreads. One fan, maybe 12 years old, voice shaking, managed to ask Caitlin a simple question. What's the hardest part about playing basketball? No press team, no PR answer. Just Caitlin, just honesty. She smiled and said, at the end of the day, none of it's hard. You're lucky to get to do this. That wasn't a soundbite. That was real. That was her. No ego, no fame talk, no brand strategy. Just a young woman who understands that she's part of something way bigger than herself. And that's the part people miss. Yes, she's breaking records. Yes, she's moving merch like an NBA MVP. But that's not what makes her powerful. What makes Caitlin Clark bigger than basketball is that she's changing what little girls believe is possible. And when belief changes, so does everything else. But here's the question no one's asking. Is the league ready for that kind of change? Because Caitlin is, and she's just getting started. Despite being sidelined with an injury, Caitlin Clark didn't miss a single moment of the All-Star experience. Not as a player, not as a fan, but as a leader. While the cameras were busy chasing celebrities in the stands, Caitlin was already courtside, rebounding shots during warm-ups, drawing up plays on the whiteboard, even rallying her teammates like she was one of the coaches. At one point during the actual game, she stood beside Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello, pointing out rotations, calling adjustments, directing traffic like a seasoned veteran. Not just shouting encouragement, but shaping strategy. After the game, Coach Brondello didn't hold back. I'll give her the coaching hat as much as she wants. Think about that for a second. A rookie, still halfway through her first season, being given tactical control during the WNBA's biggest weekend. That's not normal. That's not typical. That's special. Because Caitlin didn't come to Indianapolis to be seen. She didn't need the spotlight. She created it. She didn't ask for leadership. She embodied it. And when a player can lead even when they're not on the court, when their impact echoes beyond stats and highlights, that's when you know. You're not just witnessing a great athlete, you're watching history in real time. But here's the thing. Not everyone in the league is celebrating it. Some are quietly pushing back, and it's starting to show. Then came the moments that broke the internet. Caitlin Clark outside the arena, surrounded by hundreds. Selfies in the parking lot, dancing on stage at fan events, laughing with kids, hugging strangers, high-fiving security guards. One little girl asked a question on live TV and ended up being gifted 4 tickets to the sold-out All-Star Game just for asking Caitlin a question. She wasn't doing PR. She was doing people. And fans felt it. No filters, no ego, just connection. But let's not pretend everything was sunshine. Because as Caitlin Clark's star rose, so did the criticism. She was slammed for not picking Angel Reese in the All-Star draft, accused of playing politics, accused of trading coaches unfairly, dragged into debates she never asked to be a part of. Racism, favoritism, division. At just 23 years old, Caitlin Clark became a lightning rod for national discourse. But here's what makes her different. She didn't clap back. She didn't complain. She just showed up and kept working. In the face of controversy, Caitlin focused on fans. She kept signing jerseys, taking pictures, smiling through the pressure. While the media created narratives, Caitlin created memories. She made time for every kid, thanked every volunteer, gave props to every teammate. She was everywhere, doing everything, and still managed to look like she was having the time of her life. That's not media training. That's character. By the end of the weekend, one thing was undeniable. Caitlin Clark was the WNBA All-Star Weekend. Not a player in the game. Not a stat line on the board. Just her presence. And it electrified the league. She signed for hours, gave interviews, coached, mentored, inspired. She didn't need to score 30. She didn't need to hit logo threes. Her existence was the show. She's not just changing how people watch women's basketball. She's changing how we talk about it. Caitlin Clark didn't play a single minute, but she sold out the game. She brought in national media, new fans, families who had never watched the WNBA before. She changed the culture in 3 days, all without touching a basketball. And if this is what she does when she's injured, just imagine what's coming next. If you believe Caitlin Clark is transforming basketball, drop A or A in the comments, smash that like button, and share this with someone who still doesn't get it. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just the face of a team. She's the face of a movement, and she's just getting started.